So, it seems that Lumila has taken Charlie and family to this gravel drive on a dark Wyoming mountain. Okay, that is creepy. What do you think is going to happen? And do you think that Lumila is going to take them to a really bad place and that they're gonna have to sleep outside? Or do you think that she's taking them to a good place? What do you think? I'm pretty sure that she's taking them to a good place, but still, at times I just have my doubts. I mean, I wasn't really sure if this was gonna all work out, if Lumila actually did have a mean streak in her. So, we keep on going, and then they keep on going, right? Down the gravel drive until finally they see a parking area with an RV and a snowcat and all that. So in the end, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that that they're gonna climb the mountain now? And so, do you think that what do you think is gonna happen? And also, why do you think that she's taking them to the mountain? And do you think that Charlie's estimation thought that she was bringing them to a scary cult headquarters, stuff like that? Do you think that that this is going to actually happen, or do you think that that's all Charlie's imagination? What do you think actually is going to happen? There's at the top of the mountain, or maybe just near the mountain, there's probably some nice people or a good house or a cabin where they can sleep in. That's my guess, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's keep on going through the book. So, have you ever heard about a mountaintop cult before, or you have no idea? No. I've never heard of anything like that. Not near San Diego. That's the first time I've heard of anything like that being near San Diego. So, do you think that Lumila is the type of person to be in a cult, though? No, I don't think that she's in a cult at all. And it seems that Lumila is really connected to the place, right? Because she even sort of seems to know the RV camper a little. What do you think about him? And what do you think about all this? So, if Lumila actually knows this place, and if she's smiling, if you have been Charlie, what would you have been thinking? And just you, what are you thinking? Well, if I had been Charlie, I would have been freaking out. I'd be like, oh my, cult, she knows this place. But if I had been him, I would have just thought, oh, so this is a place that she knows. Probably a good place too, since she's smiling. That's what I would have thought. What do you think that they should name the dog, though? What's your suggestion? And if you happen in the family, and what is the best name? And whose name did you think was actually the best? Well, my suggestion, I don't know. I have to think about that because I always have to think a lot about dogs' names before I give them those names. I just need to think about them a lot. So, Yeah, I think if I had been, yeah, I would have just thought about it. But I do not like Popeye or Limbo. I do not like both of those names, that's for sure. And so yeah, whose decision in the end was the best in your opinion? Because even though, well, right now it isn't solved. Between Joel and Jake, what was the best? And who do you think is going to have the best name in the end? I don't know, but my guess is that Ludmilla is going to have the best name. What about you? I'm still thinking about the names. Why do you think that that Ludmilla, if she brought them here to the middle of nowhere, why do you think that she's right now, like, what do you think that she's doing? Because, like, she's just over there, right? We don't really know what she's doing. That sort of seems strange. We'll think about it. And then Ludmilla says she'll be right down to get us. I think that well, I don't know, but I just pictured a nice person coming down and the fact that she said she'll be right down probably means that this person, the she, is up. So I think I figured that out. And if you had been Charlie though, what would you have thought about it? Like, I mean, how do you think that Charlie's thinking about that? I'm pretty sure he's thinking, oh man, another cult member, this time with a weapon or something. I don't know. She might be thinking, he's probably thinking that, maybe. And what do you think about the fun surprise? And do you think that Ludmilla, if she uses fun surprise, do you think that's actually a fun surprise? Well, I think that Ludmilla is actually not bad. So yeah, fun surprise might actually mean fun surprise. And were you surprised also that Ludmilla had used her cell phone and this was his cell phone coverage? So what did you think about that? I mean, like, they're in the middle of nowhere and there's like internet? What do you think? Well, it means that there is a building or some kind of human civilization around there. But the question is this a good human civilization or not? So now Charlie is freaking out about how they need to call Graham, right? But do you think that Charlie is just doing too much freaking out right now, and like he's not being that very sensible, and he should just relax and be calm and just enjoy? What do you think? And whose growth mindset do you like better? Okay, Joel and Jake's or Charlie's? Not how smart they are, nothing like that, just growth mindset. Whose mindset is better right now? I think that Joel and Jake's are actually way better than Charlie's right now, because though Charlie is pretty nice and good and great, Joel and Jake have a more, they can accept that. They accept this trip and they're sort of more flexible with it. I mean, yeah, they like it, so like they don't really need to think about it a lot, but still, they're being more flexible and acceptable than Charlie. So I like the fact that Joel and Jake, they're more flexible. Charlie is sort of more like a stick, right? If you try to bend it to get flexible, it just breaks and snaps in two. That's not good, right? So hopefully he gets a little more flexible and turns into something like, 1 second. Something like this. This is a straw. It was lying on the table, but look at this. Let me bend it. Okay, so that just made, yeah, it's sort of when I Yeah. Point is, when I bend like this, it's always like bend, and then the end. Oh, from this to this. So this is how I want Charlie to be, not like. Wait another second, please. This. Now this is a pencil. If I want to snap it, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna actually snap it, but if I do this, it's not gonna bend. It's going to snap. So we don't want that to happen. So yeah. Now, Ludmila saying that there's a lot that she needs to tell them, right? And suddenly, the dog, or maybe Popeye, or maybe Limbo, who knows, begins to growl. What do you think is coming? I imagined a person with a lantern. Actually, what comes is a huge truck. Now that wasn't what I was expecting, but I was expecting something, and the truck sort of matched my thoughts too. And then the woman inside the cab, there is an old lady, and she seems pretty nice and friendly. And if you had been Charlie and you looked at the old lady, would you have just calmed down immediately? If I wouldn't have been worried in the first place, but now I would have but if I had been even a little worried, now I would have calmed down immediately. And then also the old lady said, "I'm so sorry about Amar." Now let's piece something together. In the last chapter, at the end of the last chapter, he said this, that Charlie, this is the last two sentences of chapter 14. I want to ask her if he's alive or dead, but something about her face makes the words stop in my throat. So it seems like her face is sort of grave and sad, right? And now this person is saying, "I'm so sorry about Amar." When somebody says, "I'm so sorry about somebody," what does that mean mostly? That person is dead, right? So piece everything together. Do you really think that this Amar, Ludmila's sister, is dead? Yeah, I think so. I think that's it. Okay. So we just pieced together some evidence. That's good, right? Now, also Charlie sort of is beginning to piece all this together. And now, the old lady, what did you think about her? Did you think that she was cool, or did you think that she was sort of creepy? I mean, like, she was so energetic that she was creepy, or did you think that she was just right? I thought she was just right, and she was also pretty cool, in my opinion. And what did you think about the fact that they were going to the top of the mountain? Now, okay, if you had been Joel and Jake, how would you have faced this? If you had been Charlie, how would you have faced this? And if you had been Davis, how would you have faced this? I want to think about it from every character, well, not every characters, but most of the characters, the kids' opinions. Okay, let's start with Joel and Jake. Act out the part. Me, I would be like, "Oh my god, that would be so cool." And let's say that was just Jake speaking. Now Joel will be like, I know. We're just gonna go all the way to the top so we can see everything. Okay, now here's Charlie. Now he's only thinking. He's thinking, oh man. If there's a mountaintop Colto up there, that's a perfect place to put it. And here's what Davis would be thinking. I don't know, actually. I mean, like, her feelings seem pretty neutral. She's probably thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. that we're going up. So I think that Charlie right now would be acting the most worried. What do you think? Yeah, I think that Charlie, he will be the one most worried. So, and then that GHO came up, right? What is a GHO in your opinion? Because now it says that she's got GHOs up here. What is a GHO? But then Dr. Jones says it's a great horned owl. The picture up right here. Wait, I want to get to it. With that horned owl, it stood for GHO. GHO stood for Great Horned Owl. Awesome. But what do you think about Great Horned Owls? Do you think that they are really amazing, or do you just not think about them at all? I like owls of all types, and I think that Great Horned Owls are awesome. I really want to meet one someday. Now, when you thought about the Great Horned Owl, what did you think? Like, what do you think? Why do you think that Charlie was suddenly so excited about it? And were you excited about it? And if so, why? I knew that on the Someday Birds list, Great Horned Owl was number 2. Yeah, my memory, I actually remember that. At first, I was like, why? And I was like, oh yeah, Someday Birds list, I remember. I tried to actually spot some of the animals on it. Of course, the passenger pigeon and the Carolina parakeet and emu are impossible. And everything else seems pretty much impossible to me. Except for the turkey vulture, which lives in California. I can see nothing else, which is sad. Well, there is the bald eagle, but they're really rare and hard to spot. So let's see. I can see the bald eagle, maybe, and the turkey vulture. And I've never seen both of them. That's sad. Do you really think that Charlie's dad is going to get excited, or do you think that Charlie's just dreaming right now? But do you really think that it would be cool if Charlie checked off all of the birds in on his list? And I have a question. Do you think that this is why this is called the Someday Birds? And I have another question. Do you think that Charlie actually is going to get all the birds? Yeah, I really do think so. Wait, did I just ask that question? I have a feeling I did, but at the same time I have a feeling I didn't. Well, there's my memory. Well, I was sort of thinking about other things because I was thinking too about some of the birds on the list. I was thinking I want to really see a sandhill crane, so sorry if my mind wandered a bit there. So they're like going this, right? They're going up. Well, not like this, but basically the same thing in my opinion. And finally, they come to a big silver observatory. Was this what you expected on top? No, I expected a small log cabin or something where the old woman lived, but this was like totally cool. And did you actually even expect this? Definitely not. Yeah, you know what I was expecting. And now, Wiro. This is called Wiro. Well, I call it Wiro, even though it would probably be pronounced Wiro, or just W-I-R-O. But I think that Wiro fits together, Wiro. So, now, I have a last question before we turn the page. Well, not a last question, but one of the last questions. And that is, why this Wiro, whatever, I'll just call it W. I'll just call it the W Lab. This W Lab, like, are you really interested in this kind of stuff? And, do you think it actually makes sense that a silver observatory would be here? Definitely. They put a lot of observatories in places where there are no light pollution, and also on top of hills, because that makes it so all the observatories are closer to space. For example, think about it like this. A telescope would see more if it was at an elevation of 2,000 feet than it would if it was at an elevation of 1,000 feet, right? Common sense like that. And then Old Bessie. What do you think about the name Old Bessie? And were you surprised that that was the name of the RV that they had seen? And why do you think that Old Bessie has so many old memories for Ludmila? And I have a last question. Do you think that it's like the thoughts that this was a cult, like a Mountain Dome cult, top cult? I mean, like after we just learned all this, do you think they actually sound silly? Definitely. They sound so silly now, right? So, what did you think about Dr. Joan and Ludmila's close companionship? I mean, do you think that it was so close? Did you think that they were friends? Because it seems like they're even closer than friends, in my opinion. I mean, they were really emotional with each other. And then we realized that Ludmila had a foster mother. And Dr. Joan was one of them. Did you expect that? Totally not. I was totally not expecting that. What did you think about that? And the fact that Ludmila was adopted, and she also said that, that her country doesn't exist anymore. If that's so, what do you think that she and her family has been through? And do you think that they all survived? No, I don't think so. And even if her parents both died, when she was born, still, I think that maybe, just maybe, this orphan, the reason that she was an orphan was because no family, no connections. What do you think happened? And also maybe a country's gone. Probably because of war. Everybody died, right? Except for Ludmila. And her brother Amar. Maybe some other people that also died along the way. Or maybe some other people that actually are alive but are somewhere else far, far away. Who knows? And now, we still learn that Charlie's still a little cautious. One sentence actually said, "We're not being forced to join a cult." And then after that, another sentence says, "Probably." I thought that was sort of silly of Charlie because, I was already not expecting it. And now that I'm totally not expecting, we can see proof of it, he's still thinking about that. So I think that he's being way too suspicious right now, way too. And sometimes that's bad for you. Do you think that Charlie's going to spot a GHO though? Definitely. He's probably going to, because I just have a feeling that this list is going to be completed, except for the emu, which is actually sort of unfair because that's in Australia. Unless they actually go to a zoo, and that doesn't really count because that's in a zoo. So yeah, you have to see it in the wild to make it actually count. Or else, if I went to the San Diego Zoo, I would be I could say, guys, I was bird watching, and I just totally saw a million flamingos, and also 10 macaws or whatever, and a million parakeets, and 6,000 cranes. Isn't that so cool? And I could be bragging like that. But of course, no. Now, of course, the dog's going away. And Joel is saying, "Max, come back!" And Jake is saying, "Leonard, watch out!" What did you think? And do you think that they're ever going to actually think of a name? I think that in the end, Charlie's the one. Because it seems that Ludmila, maybe Ludmila, but now I've just changed my mind that it's going to be Charlie. Now, what did you think about the owl pellet? Okay, I know a lot about owl pellets because at school we had to dissect one. All of us. And then we had to put the bones back together. But luckily, well, actually, unfortunately, in my opinion, they weren't real. I wanted a real one, but they were like just online. Basically, you just press on the screen and you're basically like doing this. Press, press, press. And then there's like a little cheer saying, you have dissected the owl pellet. And I mean, like, it's totally not educational at all. And after that, there's like, so easy. They actually give you the frame. And you're just supposed to put the bones in the owl pellet to match it. That's so easy. I mean, like, we actually don't need the frame to do it. We need to figure it out. But no, instead, there's a whole frame. It was so easy. And after that, like, they were treating me like I was a professional owl pellet dissector. They were like, man, you're a big, great scientist. And all I had done was this. Press, 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 move, drag, voila, I'm done. So, yeah. Sometimes the public education system can get you a little down at that. When I mean, like, they're making a too big deal. Just too much of a big deal on such a small thing. And did you find it surprising that Charlie actually was touching something that an owl had, out when he washed his hands a lot? Well, I don't think so, because it wasn't that surprising, because he really loves birds. And I think that when the love at times can overcome fear, that's for sure. And now, do you think that you understood about that, about the telescope, or did you just totally do this? I have no idea what this means. I actually understood it pretty well, but I'm not saying that I understood it that well. But I mean, I still did understand it pretty well for a kid like me, for my age. Now, do you really like birding? Because Charlie really likes it, and the reason is, I have a question. You have a hobby, of course you do. What do you think that hobby tells about you? Or do you think that hobby doesn't really tell a lot about you? I mean, it doesn't tell a lot about you, but still it can tell a few things about you, okay? But not always. I'm not saying always. For example, Audubon, he was a great guy. I mean, he was awesome. He drew so well. But he killed a lot of birds to do that. So, yeah, at times that might happen, and that might sort of cross. So, think about it like this. That basic, what do you think it means about you? But you know how you do the hobby. So, considering how you do the hobby, how do you think that, what does it tell about you? I'll think about that for a while, and then maybe next lesson I'll tell you, okay? Okay, good. That's a good deal. And now, so Charlie goes out, right? And then there is a GHO, right? What did you think? And also, what did you think about how how Joan taught Charlie all the constellations? And do you think that this night really did well for Charlie? And why do you think that he's doing this? I mean, if his dad is really thrilled about this, what do you think might happen? Maybe his dad is gonna recover quicker, right? But at the same time, who do you think is recovering? Charlie. He's recovering from this shock. He's actually becoming more happy, and he's learning stuff. So I really think that Charlie is also really, really recovering here. And did you like how Charlie really described the G.I. Joe, and would you have described it the same way? Definitely. He did a really good job, and I think that I would have described it the exact same way. And then we learned that Amar died in Afghanistan. So we're learning a lot of stuff right now, especially about how Ludmila's brother died. Were you really surprised about this, or were you already sort of guessing that? I was really surprised about this. I thought that he had died at like maybe of a car crash or something, but never like in war duty. That sort of actually reminds me of Charlie's dad a lot. And now, we have finished today's chapters. We have done all the way. Wait, oh, I just closed a book. How could I do that? But I think it's chapters 13. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, I am right. Yeah, 13 all the way to 15 in The Someday Birds by Sally J. Plough. This is one of the best books in the world. And I really enjoyed this book. So I hope that you also enjoyed this book. Now, I'm going to ask you a few last questions. What was your favorite part, and what was in these chapters, and what was your favorite part in the whole book so far? In these chapters, my favorite part was when they spotted G.I. Joe. That was definitely my favorite part. In the whole book, I still thought that my favorite part was the G.I. Joe part. I really liked that part. But I'm pretty sure as Charlie begins to see other birds, maybe that is going to sort of become my favorite part. Who knows? Also, what's your favorite character and your least favorite character? My favorite character has to be... I like the dog best, personally, so I'll just choose the dog. But as a human, to choose a human, I would choose Joel or Jake because they're really energetic and funny. But I still like Charlie a lot. He's also pretty good. And yeah, Davis is okay, and Ludmila is a pretty cool babysitter. Then maybe I shouldn't use that word because I don't want to offend Charlie, Davis, or Joel and Jake. And plus, she's sort of a dog sitter too, right? With the dog, along with the ride. Now, also predictions. What do you think is going to happen to Charlie's bird list? Do you think that everything is going to get checked or not? Do you think that Charlie is actually going to recover by the end of the trip? And what about Ludmila? Do you think that she's going to recover from the shock of losing a barn? Or do you think that she's already recovered? How long do you think that they're going to spend time there? And about this cross-country trip. How do you think that Charlie will manage to see all the birds in just one cross-country trip? Because I know that some birds are on the West Coast, and they didn't really spend a lot of time on the West Coast. They just plunged right into Nevada, right? So what about that? Do you think that Charlie's dad is gonna get okay? Davis and Joel and Jake, do you think that by the end of the book they're actually gonna have respect for Charlie? Because they didn't really have like 100% respect at some times. So do you think that they actually are going to have some respect or not? I have a feeling that they are going to sort of they are going to really respect him. At least they aren't going to tease him that much. Though I know that everybody gets teased once in a while. I mean, of course that happens. Now, how did you like the book so far? I always ask this question because I want to just know. And then when I know, I want to feel happy if you like it. And even if you don't like it, I hope that you're going to appreciate this awesome book called The Someday Birds. And if you don't like that book, well, there's always other books, right? Like, for example, Where the Red Fern Grows, or The Last Plantista, or, okay, let's see, I shall reach. I'm going to close my eyes. Okay, now I don't even know where the books are. Sorry, I have to open my eyes for that. Okay, ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh. What about this one? From Norville to Nowhere. And there's a million other books, but I'm afraid that the book stack, the books are on, is going to collapse right onto my bunny. So, oh my, we're gonna have to end this, but not quickly. No rush. Now, I hope that you really enjoyed the Sunday Burst chapters 13 to 15. It doesn't seem like we did a lot, but actually 15 was really long. So we actually did do a lot. I hope that I see you guys next time for another lesson. And yeah, see you next time. Keep on reading and have a great rest of your day or night. Whoa.